Quick thank you to crypto exchange BITUNIX for sponsoring this video. Guys, check them out by using the link in the description below. This is a video I have never seen before of David Schwartz and Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, and that is David Schwartz talking about Vitalik from Ethereum, the creator of Ethereum, working at Ripple. So imagine if we had Vitalik staying and David Schwartz and Vitalik on the exact same team. Guys, by now, XRP would have been the #1 crypto, overtaking Bitcoin. Let's take a look at this video.
He was an intern at Ripple before I was at Ripple. Yeah. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so sad.
By the way, we are way off script.
Whatever. It doesn't. It's so sad that didn't work out. I mean, can you imagine the great things Vitalik could have accomplished at Ripple?
Right, so this might be at the XRP not the XRP Las Vegas, the XRP Ledger Apex event happening in Singapore.
No, but seriously, though, Vitalik had some great ideas about smart contracts on layer 1. And at one point, he stayed on Stefan's couch, our CTO at the time, and he shared his ideas. And we were obviously very, very impressed that, he had a clear vision. Not that far.
We have Stefan Thomas creating the Interledger protocol as well, handling trillions of transactions per second. Interledger protocol also using XRP to do so.
Ahead of its time, as it turned out. And he actually, Stefan Thomas, myself, Arthur Brito at times, and Vitalik talked about bringing layer 1 smart contracts to our design. And interestingly enough, there were...
Right, that is essentially these guys are essentially the crypto mafia. They control the crypto space, the pioneers of the crypto space.
Variety of reasons why we didn't grab onto that idea back then. I guess you could argue we're a little late to the party talking about that now. But I think, it would have been, it's an interesting counterfactual to imagine if Vitalik had persuaded Stefan, Arthur, and I to build smart contracts into layer 1 on the XRP ledger in the early days. But I think what we were concerned with is that it would, and you can see this with Ethereum, that it causes the transaction fees to go up, and it reduces the transactions per second, and it does have costs. And obviously you can argue about, obviously there's benefits as well.
Well, so maybe I'm transitioning back to some of the stuff we were supposed to cover.
This is why we have Ripple focusing on the payments market first after smart contracts, as the payments market is much bigger than the smart contracts market. And we also have smart contracts now coming on top of the XRP ledger as well. So at the end, guys, it doesn't matter if Vitalik stayed or not. We have XRP succeeding at the end and eventually becoming the #1 crypto in the space. We also have all the way back in 2011, September 17, David Schwartz, early Bitcoin developer, dropping a bombshell. We can see in an email, he says, "I've been working on a Bitcoin successor myself, aka the XRP ledger, XRP. We have a patent for the XRP ledger all the way back in 1988. And after seeing what has worked well and what has not worked well." So we have David Schwartz calling XRP the successor of Bitcoin. And we had David Schwartz also talking about the XRP price, liquidity, and so on. And he says liquidity tends to correlate with price, and the more liquidity XRP is, the more efficient the quarters we can target. So the 1% want the price of XRP eventually to be high to handle all of the trillions of dollars in value in payments. And a higher price liquidity also means we can target higher value payments, aka institutional money. And we have the RLUSD also using XRP to help add liquidity as well. So through the stablecoin tokenization, cross-border payments, we're about to see so much money, aka liquidity, flowing into the XRP ledger. And we also have from David Schwartz a couple of weeks ago, we have United Polaris, we have the Corione Borealis, I believe the Corione Borealis, and also Project Polius as well from the BIS. And we can see we have ETA 613, which could be June 13. And June 13, tomorrow, is also a Friday. We have the infamous Friday the 13th. So could we see something happening tomorrow, another big macro event? And we can see, guys, we have the market size of Ripple very, very small. We can see Hidden Road at 3 trillion, Swift 5 trillion every single day. We have tokenized real world assets at 30 trillion, and we have 1 quadrillion for the derivatives market. And all these markets are coming on top of the XRP ledger, and look how much bigger these markets are compared to Ripple. So again, guys, we're about to see so much liquidity flowing into XRP going to the astronomical prices we have been talking about, the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 1000, 589, and so on. Guys, we have confirmation from all of the 1% media outlets of banks, institutions, BlackRock, the 1%, getting involved in tokenization. Guys, this is all massive stuff. From Bloomberg, Ripple is aiming to overtake Swift Banking Network, CEO says, as it is outdated. We have from Ripple, global financial infrastructure entering a new era as tokenized assets set to surge to 19 trillion by 2033. So we could see up to a $19 trillion market cap by 2033. And from CME Group, to expand crypto derivatives suite with launch of XRP. And keep in mind, CME Group is one of the largest players in the derivatives space, and they are using XRP. So we will see XRP capturing a majority of the derivatives market. XRP hitting up to a $1 quadrillion market cap. We're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars per XRP. That's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.